Halo, apa kabar semuanya? Welcome back to my tutorial, Python for in marketing practices, in which we are trying to use sentiment analysis and topic extractions in order to identify insights for the presidential analysis. Okay, so what we have done so far, we have extracted and streamed Twitter um, Twitter tweets, and after that we have done a bit of exploratory about Donald Trump and Hillary. We have done sentimental analysis so that we can identify what is the general sentiment of Trump and Hillary, and now we are going to do some topic extractions. Okay, but first of all, right, what is this topic extractions? Well, basically what topic extractions does is that based on the text here, let me just run it. So based on the text here whatsoever, what we want to do is that we want to find out what are the topics of the day that usually people talk about. Well, maybe people talk about Trump as a as a Christian figure, for example, because Trump was one of the biggest thing about Trump is that he was referred as that. And maybe Trump has what? So maybe Trump is good for the because he's a businessman. So maybe it's the kind of recurring topics that come about in Twitter. So initially, when I asked my friend about whether they do this topic analysis, what they do is they just eyeball it. So they just eyeball all the different tweets and then write down one by one of what they think is the topic is. However, it's a very non-quantitative way because your eyesight can only see much. But imagine if you have 1,000, 10,000, 100 million tweets, then how are you going to see the recurring tweets? By using your eyeballs alone. It's not enough. So we need to find out a way how to do that, how to cluster it, and then find the recurring and dominant topics of your tweets. Okay? And how we're going to do that is that we're going to use the technique called NMF, which stands for non-negative metrics here. And it resembles the latent literature allocation. So basically, it's sort of a very clustering way of identifying and clusters groups. Imagine there are plots. There are a lot of plots, observations at above the plot, observation below at the plot, observation at the right of the plot, and the left of the plot, that kind of things. And basically, you want to create a circle and you make sure that, oh, this is one cluster, two clusters, three clusters, and so on. And NMF is a very good way how to identify it by pulling or separating lines across of these plots. It's called LDA, latent literature allocations, and afterwards it uses a matrix representation, which is good for topic analysis because it identifies the backs of words and use that to cluster. Okay, so I provided this link if you want to know more. So if you just click this link, analytics video, it's a very good blog that I recommend for people to use if they want to learn analytics. And what we can find out is, for example, this picture, which is quite important. So let me go through here. Okay, so for example, right, if you have an article, then one thing that you can do is that when you highlight, you want to highlight the informative topics, correct? You want to highlight what's the recurring topics. It talks about genetics, and you want to highlight things that have genetic about it. And the computer will auto-identify that for you. And it does by frequency counts, doing some baggings, like so how many words happened in each in this article, and based on that, then it comes up with the frequencies, or it does the so-called inverse document frequency. So that is a little bit of counting. You can find it at the analytics video, and they list down all the things for you, maybe if you want to learn more. But what you need to know that topic analysis allows you to identify the dominant topics there, and this is what you can get. Okay, so we want to do the same thing, is that we want to identify the recurring topics for the Trump and Hillary tweets. Okay, so what we do is that first of all we do count factorizer. So what count factorizer do is that it factorize the words inside the tweet. So let me just, if you want to, we can like print this out. So for example, print factorizer, and then I think I can put head, maybe, not sure. And name factorizer. Yeah, I need to run this first. Okay, and I need to run this. There's no attribute of head. There's no head, so I just run this. Okay, so what it does is this is a model that for you to get, for example, stopwatch English, we need to identify that our count factorizer is in English. Okay, and this factorizer is used to extrain. So what is extrain? If you see here, I identify extrain as a text. So just focus on the text here. So basically, it takes the extrain and then use it to use the factorizer in order to change it into extrain DTM. So let's see what extrain DTM is about. Okay, and then there's no heads. Okay, let's just run it then. So extrain DTM does this. So don't worry about this 0 and 3675 or whatsoever. Basically, those are one line of here indicates a row, and I think this one will indicate it would indicate the terms and frequencies. So for example, I'll see that in document 0 and word 0 and word 1 there are frequencies of this. I'm not really sure, but let me know if you can try and find out. Well, maybe we can try and find out now. For example, factorizer, fit transform, then we can, if I'm not wrong, it should be frequencies and the text, but I'm not sure, cannot remember. Yeah, so you see there's an IDF here, then this fit transfer of a word, and it gives you a tuple, two values side by side. Okay, and basically this is kind of like, and basically I want to see the, yeah, I can do vocab here, so print vocab. And if you see here, these are the list of the words. So yeah, actually it's just like words, and then it identifies the counts and the documents. Okay, so basically I have 4,470 columns that identifies a word. Okay, then moving on is that I'm going to use decomposition. So it's out of sklearn library. So if you don't have it, just pip install sklearn, then it will auto upload for you. So basically, decomposition, what it does is that it's using NMF in order to identify 8 different groups, because I identify topics here is 8, and then words is basically for one word how many topics. For one topic how many words. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Like for example, I create this dog topic. So let's print dog topic here. What is it about? And it gave me a bunch of words, so it's still a bunch of numbers, so it's still not that apparent yet. So let me go back, and in here then I come up with this topic in cff.components. So so if you want to see the printouts, then this is the printout. So well, you don't need to really understand this code as of now, but just intuitive is that, so I'm creating a list of the topic words. I'm going to like see which of the numbers that best represent the topic. And for topic in cff.components is basically, if you know, cff is our model that we train using a factorizer. So on this model, we know that, oh, this topic actually talks a lot. And after that, we have word index, in which that from numpy arc topic, we see the num top words. So what is this topic? Topic is basically that's all the different line of the CFF components. And afterwards, let's append them to the topic words. So if I print out the topic words, maybe 0 to 5, I think this works. Okay, then you can see that there are topics like Trump, Donald, Russia, Abe, Code, Ban, You, America, One, and so on. Okay, so these are the kinds of topics that they talk about. And I represent it in a very nice terms. Okay, for T in range, length, topic words. So printed out in a very nice, basically adding on the topic words. Okay, and this is the kind of topics that I have identified from those 1000 tweets. So basically, interestingly, topic 3 talks about Holocaust and Trump. If you know that Trump has been resembling it's quite sensitive, but you know something about Holocaust and Trump as a topic and dominant topics. And afterwards, then people talk about Berlin also. So interestingly, there are some people that associate Trumps with Berlin, which is kind of weird and irrelevant, but I guess that's the case. Okay, maybe because of the very hard to say, very sensitive policy that he has. Okay, then afterwards we want to visualize them, so we want to put it as a data frame, then topic series, and afterwards we find the dominant topic. Okay, we want to create the dominant topic that basically is the inversion. So basically out of this, each of the row of the text will have like how likely it is to be a certain topic, and afterwards we can just use argmax so we can find a dominant topic for each. And the end is that you will find something like this, like for example, the f topic dot text. I think something like this. Yep. So I need to. So this is the kind of things that I get. So you see there's a likelihood for each text. So text 0, text 1, text 2. And then I can see the kind of like dominant topics that there are. And the likelihood of the topics, the higher it is, then the more likely it is to be the dominant topic. And then I can see and tick the dominant topic here about Trump. Okay, as you can see, 0.17 highest than the rest. So the dominant topic of this text is Trump. Okay, this one is this one. So Donald here investigate. And afterwards, I create a chart, pie chart of it. And basically, if you see here, most of the people talk about Donald ban and order, Trump RT day. So this is, I think, about a certain banning of a website or something. Maybe it's something that I am not really sure. But if you see here, people talk about Holocaust at 3,000 times in like 20,000 rows of tweets and so on. Okay, then afterwards I create a sentimental analysis so you can find out the and there you go. That was tiring. But if you want to see here, it's quite a hard sense, but I hope you get the intuitions. If you want to, just feel free to just play around with the data. Just copy paste all these codes and then try to change it to something else. So basically, the biggest challenge here is not to get it running, but the biggest challenge here is to get the data to fit the kinds of to transform it and to fit the kind of model that you're looking for. So just a bit of conclusions is that maybe you can use this to analyze fake news. Presidential analysis and then Facebook fake news. You can do like geographic locations of sentiments, and you can apply this for companies, commodities, and stocks. So we have learned about Twitter developer tools. We have extracted and streamed them, and we have did sentimental analysis and topic extractions so that you don't need to use your eyeballs ever again to find these topics. Hope that this will be useful for you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial, which talks about optimization for operations management. And I will do intuitively Excel, and possibly then I'll do what can be done in Improve by Python. With that, Goodbye, sampai jumpa. Thank you.